Okay, so the first one, evaluate the following. So you could technically punch this into your calculator the way it is. Okay, 49 to the power of 1 over 2. Okay, can you guys do that now? See what you get? What do you guys do that? What do you get? Because to check your work, you can just plug these into your calculator. But I'm going to ask you to show your work. What do you guys get? 7? 7? Get it? 7? Okay, so that's what it should be. So what that means is this 2 becomes the square root, right? So it's this number here. So it becomes the 2. So essentially what we get is the square root of 49. Okay, so the 2 becomes here in the root sign. Okay, you don't have to write the 2, but that's what the square root is. Okay, so that's the square, the 2, and then the root sign. Okay, so it ends up being the square root of 49. We don't need to do anything with the 1 because that would be exponent of 1 and that doesn't change anything. So we get the square root of 49, which is 7. Okay, so now we have 4 to the power of 3 over 2. 4 to the power of 3 over 2. Okay, so we're going to convert it into a radical. We're going to convert it. So the 2 becomes the square root. So we keep the 4, the 2 goes to where the radical sign is in the front, and then the 3 is the exponent. Okay, so the 2 is the index of the radical sign, and then the 3 stays as the exponent. Okay, now we evaluate in a couple of spots. Okay, so let's do inside the brackets first. Okay, so again, if you look back here, so the n stays in the exponent, the n becomes the index. So what we have here is the square root of 4, which is, everyone? 2. And by the way, we're only dealing with positive answers now. We're not doing positive or negative, so we're just doing the positive answer, okay? Because the square root of 4 is really positive 2 or negative 2, but just deal with the positive sign. So we get 2, so the square root of 4 is 2, to the power of 3 is, Adrian? 8. So we solve this part. So square root of 4 is 2. Carry the exponent down. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. Okay, again, so exponent 1 over 3, this becomes the index of the radical sign. So we get the cube root, so this becomes a 3 here. The cube root of negative 27. And if you want, you can put the power 1 here, but you don't need to because it's just a 1. Okay, so everyone, see if you have a cube root function on your calculator, or find the function where you're able to do more than just a square root. If anyone can't find it, let me know. Is it calculators?
I gave mine to Michael in first period to write his test, and he hasn't given it back yet, so I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I gave mine to Dylan. He hasn't given it back.
Sorry?
I gave mine to Dylan.
Back right there?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think Mike's off for a couple weeks.
Yeah, because someone got COVID on his team, so he went to go get tested yesterday, so if he comes back, then
Come on, why don't you? You guys found it? Let's pick up there. Like those ones. Alrighty. Okay, so when you cube root a negative 27, so you can cube root a negative, it's fine. You can't square root a negative, but you can cube root a negative. Okay, so what do you guys get as your answer? -3. Make sure you guys know how to use your calculator for that. Okay, still going. So what we're doing is just converting from exponential form into radical form. So again, okay, so where are we going to put the numbers? Where's the 4 go, guys? Where's the 4 go? Where's the 4 go? On the outside of the bracket as our exponent, so our 4 stays. Okay, and our 3 goes to the index spot. Do inside the bracket first, so we have the cube root of -8, which is -2. Okay, then we have -2 to the power of 4, which gives us +16. Okay, +16. If by chance your calculator gives you a -16 there, put brackets. So put brackets -2, and then put it to the power of 4. Did you get a negative on yours?
Yeah, I got a negative.
Okay, so put the brackets around it.
Okay. You still, what, you still put down to negative?
So clear it.
Oh, okay.
So put bracket, -2, bracket, and then power of 4. Not your work for you.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so be careful with your calculator. Some, if you just plug in -2 to the power of 4, some of your calculators will give you a negative answer. So if your calculator does that, put brackets and then do the power of 4. And I'll have this function on my calculator. Ooh. So Isabella, so there's different ones. Not you, this one. So there's different ones. There's one that have a box here. There's one that have like a box. Okay, then there's ones that have like an X here. So if you punch the number, punch the sign, or ones with your X. I think those are the only 2. Does anyone have a different function or looks different than those 2? Anyone? Do you have one of those? Oh. Sometimes it's in the, what kind of calculator do you have? Is it a blue one?
No, it's a Casio. It's like a type of Casio, I think.
Is it like this?
No.
No. Who else has Casio here?
It's the same
Okay,
one.
that's the same as me. Can you bring it up? Does it have an orange button? You hold it. Closer. That one? Orange button?
Yeah.
Okay, so where is it on there?
There. Isabella, see the one with that's X, and then it gives you the option of what, like,
To the
to
camera.
exponent? Where is it?
There you go.
There?
Yeah.
If you hit shift on the top left, the blue button, hit the X blank button, and it should give you the pick whatever square root. Pick whatever root. There.
So that it looks like this, that one.
Yeah. I can't tell if you can see it.
It's a bit blurry, I can't really see it.
Okay, I'll just show you here.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's above. Let me see it. The
There.
X. So Isabella, this button that you have here, the X to the power button, in the small print, so you gotta press shift, it looks like this one. I could take a picture.
Oh, okay.
Got
I
it?
The cube root.
Sorry?
I think I got the cube root. I don't know how I did that, but okay.
Yeah, the cube root is on
the other side.
and that, yeah, it's 2 over to the right if you want.
It's 2 over from your cube root. 2 over. Fine, so if you see this one, Isabella, it's the one above it.
Okay.
Did you get this one?
Yeah.
Okay, do you know how to use it? So if you plug in hit the 3, hit 3, press this button, and then press -8, and it should work. But you have to do the shift button, shift to get to the other function. Okay, we'll figure that out after. Keep trying. Okay, next one. 9 to the power of 2.5. Okay, so whenever you have a decimal, convert it into a fraction. Convert it into a fraction. Okay, so what's 2.5 as a fraction?
5/2.
5/2, good. So 5/2. I'll show you a quick way to do that. Here's a quick way to convert a decimal to a fraction. It'll work every time. Put it over 1. Okay? Move your decimal 1 place. So whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So you end up getting 25/10. It works for every single decimal. So if you want to convert it to a fraction, put it over 1. Move your decimal places so there's no more decimal. Okay, so it'd be 25/10, and then reduce it. So 25/10 is 5/2. Okay, now we convert it to the square root of 9 to the power of 5. Okay, if it's a square
Sure, I
root,
figured it out on my calculator, by the way.
you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's gonna help you to check your answers. Where am I? Can you guys see? Okay, so the 2, if it's a square root, you don't need to write the 2, but you can if you want to, and then the 5 stays in the exponent. Again, we have decimals, convert it. I know if you punch the decimal into your calculator, it'll give you the answer right away, but I'm gonna want you to show your steps. Okay, so we solve inside the brackets first. Square root of 9 is 3. Carry down the exponent of 5. 27, 81, 243. Okay, I'm just gonna move 2 over. So number 2, so we're gonna simplify and then evaluate. Okay, now we get into more tricky stuff. So it says to simplify first, then evaluate. Sorry. Yeah? Did I skip one? Oh, I skipped one. Oops. Sorry, I skipped one question. Was it 25 over 4? Negative 3 over 2?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, any suggestions? Any suggestions on what to do first? You guys at home can answer too. Any suggestions? Yeah, it's a negative 3. Negative 3 over 2. Negative 3 over 2. Any suggestions?
Would you flip it to make it positive?
Yes. Okay, so let's flip it so we can change this exponent to a positive. So we have 4 over 25. And once we flip the fraction or do the reciprocal, we get the exponent of positive 3 over 2. Okay, I'm just going to erase this over 2 for a second. Okay, going back to what we just learned, what would you do here? If it was 4 over 25 to the power 3, what would you do?
Just like, what's the word for it? Like,
Oh,
I can't remember the word for it, but you put it into the bracket, like multiply each of the.
so you put it inside the bracket. We did.
Did distribute.
Distribute,
Yeah.
good. So you would distribute to 3. So it'd be a 4 to the power of 3 and a 25 to the power of 3. But now we have a 2 here. So we still do that. So the 3 will still go to the 4, and the power of 3 will still go to the 25. But what does the 2 do now? What does the 2 do to these numbers? It square roots it. Good. So we get the square root of 4 to the power of 3 and the square root of 25 to the power of 3. Okay, so the 2 goes to both numbers and the 3 goes to both numbers. So we distribute the 3 over 2 to both of them. The 2 creating the square root and the 3 creating the exponent. So we get square root of 4 is 2, so we have 2 to the power of 3. Square root of 25 is 5, so we have 5 to the power of 3. Which gives us 8 over 125. Since this is taking a little bit longer than I thought, what we'll do is I won't teach a new lesson tomorrow. Okay, so this will be your homework for tomorrow. Okay, so I won't teach a new lesson tomorrow. So you can work on 4.2 today and then 4.3 tomorrow. But I'll make sure I finish the lesson. Okay, back to 2a. So we have 16 to the power of 1 over 4. And then we have the denominator, the square root of 16 to the power of 5. But the question asks to simplify first, then evaluate. Okay, so technically, it could just evaluate it. If it said evaluate, it would be the 4th root of 16. And then you do the square root of 16 and do the power of 5. But it says to evaluate, it says to simplify first, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, if we want to simplify it, since they're already the same bases, we have to deal with the exponents. Okay, I'm just going to show you what to do. So we're going to do 16 to the power 1 over 4, and I'm going to convert this radical sign into the exponent. So the denominator becomes 16, 5 over 2. I'll write that a bit bigger. All right, so we have the same base. So we have the base of 16, and we're dividing. What do we do with the exponents? So we have the same base, and we're dividing. What do we do with the exponents?
Oh, subtract them.
Subtract them. So we get 16, 1 over 4, subtract 5 over 2. This is where it gets a little bit tedious. How do we subtract fractions? Yeah.
Make the denominators the same.
Okay, good. So what would be the common denominator?
4.
4. Okay, so we're going to multiply this one by 2. One over 4, subtract 10 over 4. This one's a tough question. Where did I get the 2 from the 5 over 2? Here is the square root. Who's asking? Emily. So we had a square root in the original question. So we converted the square root to the exponent and put it in the denominator. Okay, so the square root turns into the 2. You're welcome. Okay, so now we subtract the fractions. 1 minus 10 is negative 9 over 4. Well, that's a long one. This will be as difficult as it gets. Did have one more question. It's going to save on time. So we have the negative here. So we're going to flip the 16 over 1 into 1 over 16. Bring the exponent down with it. Yeah, you got it. What was that, Adrian? Yeah. So the negative gets us to flip it. So it's 1 over 16 to the power of 9 over 4. Okay, from the exponent now, I convert it into a radical. So again, the 4, it becomes the index. And the 9 we say is the exponent. Okay, make sure you know how to do this in your calculator again, guys. Now it's the 4th root of 16. 4th root of 16. Make sure you guys know how to use your calculator right now. Because we didn't do anything higher than the cube root. Now we're doing the 4th root.
I think it's 2, it says.
Yeah, it should be 2. Because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. So when you 4th root 16, you get 2. We still have the power of 9. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. So we get 1 over 512. I got one more question, guys. Last one. So it's 27 to the power of negative 2 over 3 divided by, in brackets, 27 to the power of 1 over 3 times 27 to the power of negative 4 over 3. I'll make sure I print out or type out the next lessons. Okay, so we have all the same base. All the same base, all 27s. Okay, so it's good, because now we can simplify the exponents. Okay, so which ones do we do first? Which ones we do first? The ones in the brackets, good. Okay, so we are multiplying here. We're multiplying, they have the same base. If we're multiplying, what do we do with our exponents? Declan, you got it?
Oh yeah. For multiplying, it's not addition.
Good, we add them. Okay, so we're adding them. Well, technically we're not really adding, because it's a -1/3 plus a -4/3. So we add them, but they're negatives. So we have 27, -1/3, subtract 4/3 is -5/3. The other one was harder than this one, Isabella. The one I just did was probably one of the hardest ones, because we had to do all the conversions. Yeah, the previous one was. This one's not bad. Okay, so 27, we're dividing now. So what do we do with our exponents? Subtract them, good. So be careful here. So -2/3 minus a -5/3. So what happens there? So we're subtracting a -5/3. No, you guys know. Leah? Yeah, add them, right? Because the two negatives become positive, right? Alrighty. So we had -2 plus 5 is 3, and keep the denominator. You guys have noticed this cancels off. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So our answer is 27. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 27 to the power of 1 is 27. This will be your tomorrow's homework, or you can start it today, it's up to you. So if you do it today or tonight, you won't have any homework over the weekend, except for studying. Okay, so the homework is 229, 1 to 6, but for each of the 1 to 6, you're doing like A and C, or ACE, so alternate the letters. And 8, 10, 12 ACE. 12 seems to be the hardest, but it's not that difficult.